Okay, I guess we're live on YouTube. So a good afternoon from Dubai to all my YouTube viewers. I'll close this so we don't have an echo. If I can do a special webinar as promised, we can do this. We can do one this week. Let me see. I'll set it up for you guys. Arrange a special webinar. Okay, in just exactly 1 minute, we'll start. It will be a link. It will be posted in my Facebook page. So make sure you actually check out the Facebook page, ProWave page. Somebody will post a link in here for all of you. If you don't have it, you should have it by now, though. Right? Okay, let's start. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the weekly outlook. Not a lot of people, I should say. Only 54 live here. I don't know how much is in YouTube, but we do get the same amount of views in YouTube. So I would assume that people are just not coming live because they don't realize we are back in normal time. So hope you guys could spread that message that we are back in normal time and we get everybody back in the room. It's good to be live for two reasons. One, you might be able to ask questions at the end of the session, right? So, and two, you probably can get some information before we start the session. So there was a question about doing a special webinar this week before we start. Yes, we can do one. I'll try to arrange it, but you will only get that link. I will find it when I have the time available, and I'll post that link in YouTube. It's going to be very short notice. So you on Facebook, sorry, it's going to be a very short notice. So if you follow me on Facebook, you will probably get the notice. Make sure you're following the page so that you can get the notification. It might be on the same day. I managed to say, okay, I have a few hours free. Let me do that webinar for you guys. And you will get it, right? So don't miss it. And when you get it, please help share it, because there are people who may be, on your social site somewhere also that doesn't know about these webinars. And then don't know about having the advantage of understanding wave analysis. Because wave analysis is amazing. I got a message this morning when I woke up. It's always a wonderful day when you wake up and you get a message from that. One of my traders who took the course last year, he started trading with 4,000 euros, and he's made that, as of now, it's 16,000, couple hundred euros, right? He sent a message to me private. He didn't want to post it in the group because, he doesn't want people to think he's boasting or anything. But I said, no, you don't have to worry about that. So I hope he will be posting it in the group or give me the permission to do that. Ask him. I can't give his name because I don't have permission to, say who it is, but I can tell you the content of it. And you get those messages very often. And I think it's a more elaborate thing. One of the things he said that, that is nice is that now he knows what he's trading, right? Now he's trading from a point of view of knowledge. He understands what he's doing. He's been trading for a while, but now after taking the course, he starts to understand what he's doing. He's just not, pulling a trigger somewhere because he thinks it's going to go up or down, or because there was some line there, or there was, now he literally could see the movement of the charts, the patterns, understand them, understand why he's taking a trade. And his win-loss ratio is amazing. If I remember clearly from the message, it's above 90% win-loss ratio. So that is what is good for him. Now, is all my traders doing that? I hope. I wish all of them could have that success, but no, not all of them having that success. There are still traders struggling. And we work with them on a daily basis to make sure that they can get those success. And I always said success is an individual thing. So talking about that, I spoke to one person today who is going to take the course in September. And one of the things he asked me was like, how long would it take me to get successful? Can I double my account in a year? I was like, that depends on you. It depends only on you, right? Not on me or not on any other traders in the group. It's an individual thing. We will work with you to make sure you get success, whether it takes you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or even 1 week. We will work with you to make you get that success. Now, not everybody has the same abilities. So it depends on everybody individually, whether you will be a successful trader. But with this knowledge, and if you do have experience and ability, you are very likely going to be successful. So let's go. With that, we'll start. at the end of this webinar, I'll talk a little about the course and maybe in the special webinar. So if you'd be interested in the course in September, come there. Dollar index. Let's go to the dollar index. I was in the euro. Let me go to the dollar index. Dollar index still in the consolidation, right? Nothing new happened. Now we were expecting that this pattern here might go down from this point last week. It did come down. If you're looking, depends on how you look. What's 1 second? Oh, let me just get my drawing tool. 1 second, please. Give me 1 second. Let me just set it up to run. Yeah. Good, got it. We were looking at this as a possible 1, 2, 3 to come down. That is still possible as it is, right? That the mere fact that it went up a little more does not mean that you can't get the downside as yet. Now, can this go up some more? Is there a possibility for this to go up, right? Some more, break this top. Still possible, right? So what you're doing when you're looking for a trade is you're looking for which of those setups actually happen now. If this consolidates in this zone and stays here, we're going to go up. If they drop and consolidate, make a flag there, you'll be looking for the downside. They might make that downside rather than the up, right? So we were here last week, went up. We were somewhere here, I think, going up last week, right? I don't know exactly. But once they broke the top, you start looking for that downside. So if you were in the buy from here, you would be moving, stops moving, you're probably out of that trade. So two things you're looking for here now. Either this makes a flag here and drop, and you want that trade, you got a flag there, it drop, you got a flag here, it drop, you got a flag, let me see where, but this is a small one. This is a bigger correction. That's not a flag, but it's still drop. And you get the drop, that's a trade you should take, and you will be looking for that trade to break out of this. Right, that's one. The second option you'll be looking for is if they don't make a flag, but they just do this, come back here, kind of like more sharp waves and they're making a pattern, then you would look for upside. You'll look for a continuation pattern rather than after. I think if you have enough experience, you can probably trade that, even if you don't have to know all the wave theory is that, right? So we're still stress the details of it, but we're in consolidation. Same with here, we're still in the consolidation zone. You can see it. You can see it in the 4 hour. We're still within that. We haven't left the zone as yet. And that means you're still in a pattern. And I still think we're in the B wave, right? We've got a 1, 2, 3. This came down very nice. It broke the low. That is good for us because now we're looking for two things. We're looking for this to go back up from where it is without breaking the low. That's one option. The second option is they break the low and they go back up, right? Either option means we're getting a flat in the middle here. Now, how you look at this B wave part in here is a little difficult even for my traders. Sometimes we looked at that, the number of options we can find in it that is possible to play out, which means based on what you have, there's a number of patterns you can see in it. Now, which of those patterns is the exact one will be, we can tell when this whole thing comes to the bottom or turn. Then we will decide which parts of this, which is the next impulsive wave we get. And then we decide, okay, which of those patterns are the exact patterns we're looking for. As of now, I think we're in a B wave here as of 1, 2, 3, which means that we're looking for this impulse up again, right? And then we would look for the next one down. We will still be in here for a longer time. Like I said, you'll probably be here for I don't know, a very long time, maybe even to the end of the year before you get a fall. If it's making a contracting flat, that's rare. But if it's making a contracting flat, like I said, there are a number of patterns. I don't see this as a contracting flat. We don't see that as a contracting flat in our. But if we're wrong about it and that is a contracting flat, this would probably fall through the bottom. Now, I've never seen a contracting flat looking like that as yet. So I don't assume that that's a contracting flat. We're still assuming that we'll go up, which means you look for the setups, right? Definitely not a triangle. It's definitely not a triangle. That one we excluded a while ago, right? I see some Elliott wavers has a triangle. That is incorrect. You will probably watch that. I think I showed that once on the Aussie Y. That's not a triangle. We have had that mistake before. We corrected it. We realized that triangles have specific features. This one is not a triangle. So what you're looking for here is what you're going to get in here now. If you start to get a consolidation here, you're going to get the one more drop. If at this point they just break the low slowly and they reverse very fast, you look for flags and then you start to look for those trades to the upside, right? That's easy. This is like you got turn here, you see that one, they drop. Remember this one, they drop, they make the flag, you get the trade. right? This trade will be longer than that because that trade only had to break this top, which it didn't do, right? Remember, it didn't break the top. We said if it comes lower than this, we will go with that as a contracting flat, which is what we did. Once they came lower than this, we took that to be the contracting flat, right? It's pretty easy. It's not that difficult. So what we're going to look for now is whether this go beyond that to make a bigger contracting flat in the middle. No, in this case, if it comes here, it will be a running flat, sorry. If it comes beyond this, we'll have a running flat. If it goes from there, in any case, even if they come here, they're going to go back up. So now you don't have a trade for a downside as yet, because to go down, you'll probably have to come back here and then go. You'll have to have this pattern before you're going to go, right? Noise in the voice. Is anybody else having noise, a lot of noise? Because I don't have anything to make noise. Okay, so it's more no's than yes. I think that might be on your side because there's absolutely nothing making noise on my side here. Let me close the door just to make sure, but there is no noise, absolutely zero. So I would, okay, good. So it could be on your side. You want to probably log on and log off back again. So let's go. Sorry about that. Yeah. So you will have to have this come up back again here, and only after that we can look for the downside, right? So watch this here if you get that. So what will be the upside pattern for you? The upside pattern will be they have to break the low. Don't break this low and turn. Even if they break that low, turn. So I think for the short term, we'll be looking for a small sell, very short term sell. I'm not even sure whether you will get it or whether you want it, but then it's going to be the upside. Pound dollar, like I said, pound dollar didn't have to go back up. I told you this structure didn't have to go back up. This structure could literally go down. And if you were paying attention, there were good sell setups in it, actually. With sell setups there's sell setups. I think in the middle here in the lower time frame, you find the sell setup. So now, right, pound is about to tag this low, which is what we expect this to do, right? Tag the low and then tell us what it's going to do. So pound would either tag the low and break through the structure, which means we're going to break through this structure, make corrections, and then go, if they do that, right? If we think that's a running flat in the middle. If that is not the case, then, sorry, let me just take this off. If that is not the case, then we expect pound from somewhere here to start making an up move, right, without breaking the low. That means we will still be in this pattern and we will go down again. Right? They'll just continue what they did here. A similar pattern to this we're looking at. Look at this one. 1, 2, 3. Kind of a 1, 2. They could or could not break the low and then go back up. This time, if they break the low, we watch this pattern if they're breaking out of the pattern. So we're still expecting an upside here a little. Let's go back here. And there's a good chance that this one might either make a bigger correction here, drop, and then go back, or they just make a flag here and then go. Either way, you should look for that trade. If that setup comes, that would be a good one. And that would be a really good trade. There's a good chance if you take that trade, we could break out of this structure, right? We told you this structure, sometimes they break out of it to the upside. And there's enough reason for them to start making a deeper correction, right? Because we have moved quite a lot, right? We've moved quite a lot in this move, and we haven't had a deeper correction. So this might be a good chance to go for a deeper correction here, even if you're going to go down. So let's say this is still downside trend, you could make a deeper correction. This could also be a reversal point. If we look at this as the correction, that is definitely not all the correction, but let's just make an assumption that it is for upside. Then we will go. But I'm convinced that is not all the correction. There are many reasons for that, which means we will be in this sideways move here for a longer time, right? And from here, you can start to look for an upside. Aussie also consolidating within that, and it's doing exactly as we expected to do. Remember, we wanted them to go break this up and then turn. They didn't do that. They dropped. They made a correction drop, make a sharp move. So now what we have is a more complex P-wave structure. Same thing like the euro. So I'm expecting this to come back here, retest this stop, maybe still go down, come back, and then go. Which means to complete a bigger pattern in here. Now, could this be a total reversal to the upside? Can this actually be the first impulse, a bigger correction here and upside? That is possible. It's also possible. So you want to look for a buy setup on the Aussie. I don't think you really want to look for a flag here and then look for a buy setup. When it breaks a stop, move it to positive and leave it alone. If it starts to go down, Look for a sell setup. After that, the trade will close out for break even or positive. You look for a sell setup. If it keeps going, you want that trade to go, because it is likely going to go. If pound breaks out, Aussie could break out, and so New Zealand and Euro. So watch the New Zealand. Can this break out? We still have this forecast on for a couple of months. It's not going anywhere. It has not changed anything, because structurally there is no change here. So we're still expecting this to come up at least to some area in here, because we are looking for a running flat before we go down, right? So this move to the upside could be the biggest move this week if it happens, bigger than the pound and the euro or the Aussie if they go up. So what you want to look for is what happens within this correction. So we're still above this low, and I'm not expecting them to break this low. If they break that low, we're going to go down and not up, right? So, but it will first come up. If they break this low, we will first go up and then go down. We will not make those two big moves, at least not now. We will make them at a lower point, which means you're going to have a long drawn out running flat, right? As we stand right now, we're in this move, and we didn't break this low. So the same question comes back. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3. Are we going up from here without breaking the low, or do they come back here, tag the low, and then go, right? Either we get a contracting flat or we get a regular flat. It's still a correction to upside as far as I can see, right? So what we're looking for is a possibility that they do something like this, just like in the euro and the pound. They do something like this, drop here first, which means if you get a sell setup, you can take it. Drop here. I don't think they're going to break the lower, this low. So I'll put a line there for you guys. I don't think they're going to break this low. Come on. But if they do, that already gives us a very good confidence of having a bigger move to the downside. So what you're going to watch is which one of these low they break before they turn. And you'll be looking for that trade. Right? Which of these, how low they can go before this, I don't know. So if you take the sell, you just got to make sure you get it to break even. But right now, I think the upside is a trade you should be focused on. If it doesn't happen, you're not to worry about that, right? Yen, on the other hand, we're in this pattern. We did break out of this here, but it's not going up very aggressively. So either two things are going to happen. Now they will make one more low before they go. They could probably just make one more low, or they're going to go tag this top. I'm more inclined to tag in the top, right? Once they break the top, two things can happen. So let's put this, let me put it in the daily so you can see. So once we break this top here, two things could happen. This could go back into consolidation for more upside, right? Something like this, because that would be your first impulse up, consolidation upside, right? That's one option. Second option is yen just continue to go like this. So you want to look for that buy setup if you get it. If you do get a sell setup in here, the sell setup will only tag this low, and then we will start to look for that upside. Because if they break this structure and come and tag this low, what we have here is a bigger running flat. It's the same running flat, but just a bigger one in the C wave, but it's still upside. So come back here in the 4 hour and the 1 hour, you can see that pattern. Watch this here. If it starts to break out of this pattern, you want that trade to this level. Put it to break even and see whether they go or they start to turn. Whether they turn, you can get out of it earlier, right? If this thing continues to go down, probably just ignore it, because it's going to break this low and then you look for the turn to the upside, right? So watch for that. And make bigger correction to the downside, not now. I don't think this could go and make much bigger correction to the downside. We don't have a complete corrective structure for that to happen. So unlikely it's going to happen. Very unlikely. CAD. CAD is being very nice to us, right? Everything we said it should do, it's doing. So it came down, make that running flat. This one came down, and it looks like it's going to make an attempt to the upside right now. You can see that. You can see the squeeze you're getting at the bottom there. Now that squeeze rarely drops beyond lower. It could go lower, but that's rare. When you start to see those squeezes and you start to see, you're kind of very sure you're going to get out sideways. Yeah. So you're getting sometimes a little move drip Watch this here again. If they do this, they'll probably do that. They'll do this, and then you'll get that trade out. But you want to focus on this trade out here, right? You really want to focus on that because these are little trades. You might get them, you might not get them. Depends on your, how good you are at picking the spots to enter and getting out before they get you out for a loss, right? So you got to be careful trading within the structure. While it's in here, you can leave it. So when you want to trade when it break out of this to the upside, or if it breaks, if they consolidate and break through like this, then wait for this flag and sell. Wait for that. That would be a correction, not a flag, something like this. Wait for that, and then you sell. I think that's unlikely going to happen. We're looking for upside here. So Swiss, upside to at least break the top. So let me go back to the CAD. I forgot to tell you how far that upside might go. The upside is short-lived, right? Well, not that short. We're expecting them to break this top and then turn. On rare cases, they might come to this level and make one more down here, right? You can look at this here. But I think they're going to break out, tag this top, and then we'll see the downside, right? So you watch this. At least that's a good trade this week for the upside. Swiss is making a much more complicated B wave than we expected. They did make one here. They make one there. We were expecting this to come and break this low. It's coming, but every time it comes, it pulls back. I still think watch this because I don't think they're going to make a more complicated B wave like this, going back there again and then come. They could drop from here and then go back. We're still looking. They still have to come back and tag this low, right? Now, it's rare that you get another contracting flat here, which means that this does not come and break the low, but it just does make a pattern like that, right? 1, 2, 3, which means this one doesn't come break the low and then go back up. That is rare. In that case, what we'll be looking for is what happens here. We want to see a consolidation here for upside, right? I don't see that consolidation. So I would expect Swiss to actually come down more. Expect the Swiss to come down. Even though we think CAD and yen could go up, Swiss could come down. So keep an eye on this one. If you get a flag here, you're looking for a sell in the daily. It'll give you a little understanding of how these charts work. If you don't mind, I'll spend a few minutes and show you some of the forecasts I made on TradingView, right? So let's look at them. Let's look at this one first, because you will start to understand patterns once you see that. So this is what we had at that time, right? We had this. We made a trick. And what we were thinking is if you have an A wave like that, you're coming for a C wave here before you go back up, right? So you want a down move and then you want an up move. We're here, right? So let me just play the forecast for you and you'll see what happened. So it dropped and it dropped to this level. So when it is this level, we still thought it would probably break this low before they go back up. But instead, it went back up. That is a contracting flat. That did not change the forecast, right? It just changed the pattern we had. So what we had as a pattern, we had 1, 2, 3. They didn't break the lows we expected, but they still go back up. And you see where the target was when they go back up? Making a contracting flat, then go. So what should happen at this level is that you should be coming back down, right? So let's go see what was the next forecast. The next forecast was here. That was on the downside. So we looked at this pattern and we got these already completed, and we think this one should come here and then go back to break this top, right? It has to go back to about that level because what we were looking at is how far this one went. So you're going to get something like that there. Let's see what happens with that forecast. It went up, but this one was a sharp one up. You see that this one here, from here, it actually went up sharply to that level and then they dropped. They dropped to this level. And what we thought was this is going to go back up here. The only thing you couldn't see there that the forecast would not show you was what you had a very big B wave before they went. So they made 1, 2, 3, and go upwards. The arrow is showing you direction, not time, not how long it will take to go there. What happens from there? Let's see if we have a forecast for that one. So that would be from this point, right? So we said you made 1. I showed you the B wave here and then the C wave there. What we thought that after a C wave, you need to come back and break this low, right? So is this the end of the C wave? You always had to watch for your setup on a lower time frame before you get in the trade. So what happened with that forecast? C wave, they went up one bit more and then came right back down to test this low, right? This is the low we were expecting them to test before they go, right? So let's see what happens to that, right? So if you look back at what we were looking at, we were looking for an A, a B, and a C wave to come and tag this low. You got an ABC, but it's a contracting flat. You get an up move. We were expecting this one here to come back here, right? That happened. You got that wave down. Then we expected this one to go up and tag this top. Right, we had that forecast, but then it made a bigger one in the middle here, right? It made like 1, 2, 3, go to the top, broke this top here slightly. This one is for the downside to come and tag this low. This made 1, 2, 3 and tag the low. Now we're up here. So what is the next forecast? If you look at the entire structure that you have, is you have a move up and a move down. And we're consolidating here. Where should this consolidation go when they come? Same thing, we're saying that this consolidation should come and break the low before it goes up. Now the question is it going to break the low or are we going to have one like this? Remember, we thought this one was going to go break the low, right? But then it stopped short there and went up. So is that an option where this becomes in this case, a running flat and then goes back up there? If that is the case, what you have to do is look for buy setups from here. If you see a buy setup, there isn't a buy setup there on the lower time frame, right? What you have in the lower time frame, there is a sell setup rather than a buy setup. So where would you have got a buy here? Since this one did not break the low, where would your first buy would have come in this pattern here. See that pattern there, that correction in the middle there to go up? That would have been your buy trade. The same here. Just wait for a correction that says it's going to go down on a lower time frame here and then look for that trade up. So all three of those predictions were absolutely correct, except in all of them, or except for one, two of the three of them, the pattern did not play out the way we thought the pattern should play out, which means it doesn't make a regular flat, and we always forecast regular flats. Right? In one case, a contracting flat, and another one, well, the C wave just went a little higher, basically. This one was perfect to the downside, nothing wrong with that. So when you're making forecasts, you remember these are making before all of this happened. This up wave from this one that says it's going to go up to the top, they're made before all of this happened. And there were going to be a B wave correction. And the problem is you don't see it. You can't see that, how it's going to be and what pattern is going to be there. But the direction is absolutely correct, which means when you're trading, that's where trading comes in. And that's where training comes in. Right? Not just forecast, but trading and training comes in with that. That's where we teach you. That's what we teach you to do for 6 weeks and then a whole year of practice with us. Right? Forever until you learn to do. That's the whole point. That's where the trading part comes in. So just to give you an idea of how forecasts work. So if, some people still are skeptical as to why these things move and how they move. Well, it's because the movements are being planned way ahead. If they're going to make an up move here, which I'm pretty sure they will do, based on our forecast, they were already planning it here. They're not going to wait on some news to make that happen. It's not going to be a one-day news event that will make that happen. But they're likely going to make the move on the one-day news event. They're going to find a news event that they will use to make that move. That move is being planned already. It's in progress. The problem is if you don't see it, you're waiting that there's going to be a news event that is going to drive it lower or drive it higher. And I'm telling you, no. It doesn't matter what the news event is going to be. They will use that news event to probably spike it up. See? So if you're prepared for that, if you already know, you can look at this and know what they're going to do already. You're prepared for that. And when the news event comes, you're ready for the trade. You may be even in the trade before the news event comes. And that is how patterns work. It's not simple as it is, as I show you sometimes, or as you see it when I show you. It's much more difficult than that, but you can do it in a step-to-step. Remember, these are daily analysis. We do 4-hour analysis, 1-hour analysis. So you see changes on different lower time frames as they happen. Let's go back to what we're doing here now and watch for correction here before you go. So watch this piece here. Look for the downside. If they tag the low, totally upside. If they don't, then we will wait for a correction here and then buy into the upside. Silver. Still in the correction. It didn't come down to this low. They didn't break the low, so they're more of an ABC. I think we're more doing this. We're going to probably come back. This could probably come out back here and maybe still drop here before they go. Make this a bigger correction. That is one possibility. The second possibility is that's it. This was the end and they're going, right? And that could be the end. Let's go back to the 4-hour. Daily. This here could be the end of the correction, and we just take off from here. So if you get a buy setup here, you better take it. But there's a good chance that they do 1, 2, 3, come somewhere to this level. Use a different color. They come somewhere to this level here, which means if you're in a buy, you put that to break even, they drop to this level and then start doing that. That one is coming. The question is it from here or is it from here? And like I said, you want to have entry orders here and entry orders here and entry orders here. And if you get the buy setup here, you take it. So from whichever point of that thing is going to go back up, you want to be in that trade. Because that up move is coming. Gold. And if silver is going to go up, I'm almost confident gold will go, not because they're correlated, but because it's going to be a dollar move. It's going to be a change in value in the dollar, and that will make all the commodities move. So there might be a little upside here, right? Could it go down some more? I think so. I don't think they will get to this level, right? Let's see. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think they'll get to that level. 4 hour, do we have any trade set up? This one broke the low, and that is okay. Watch this for the breakout of this pattern. Watch it for the breakout of this piece, actually. Right? If it breaks out of this piece, look for this buy setup here. Put it to break even because they can still go back. This will be a running flat and they can still go. This is the start of the upside. You'll be in a good trade. But you want to be careful because of a possibility of a running flat there, right? So if you get in the buy setup, be careful. Take it, but take it with care. Understand the structure in a lower time frame and what you're doing. So what you'll be looking for here is if you get a flag or correction, you go for this. If it comes lower here, ignore that. Upside, that is retesting the top. If it gets to go to the upside, it's going to retest the daily top. Then a downside is coming. Euro Aus. Euro Aus fell some more. We wanted it to break this low, which was a good trade if you took it, right? Break that low, and then see whether they're going to break this low. So what were the options I showed you? Remember the break of this top? Sorry, that one doesn't show the break of the top. Let me get it. The break of this top is either the end of the structure. They broke the top there. It's either the end of this entire structure because you had a flat in the middle here. 1, 2, 3. Or we're making a more complicated B wave. I don't think the complex B wave is there because complex B wave, we probably wouldn't have broken this low. This would have been an impulse, a correction, another impulse, and then we would have got one down, one up, and then we'd look for one more down. One more three-wave structure down, which didn't happen. They actually break the low. So I'm going to incline to go with the thing that they just broke out. This was all the correct, the last. If you were in the sell, you could still be in that sell. It's taking a long time, yeah. If you were in the sell, you could still be in that sell because that was definitely a sell setup, right? And you should have put it to break even when they broke this low. Somewhere here, you should have put that to break even and leave it. When they broke this low, you have confidence. You want to move that stop because at some point, you're going to get a correction here to prove continuation. So if you're not in the trade, if you're in the trade, you want to move your stop so that, if this continues to go, you're still in. But expect a correction here before they go. So can this turn to the upside deeper? I don't think so because I'm not expecting a flat in there anymore. We broke that low and I'm not expecting that to happen. And I think this is likely going to go more. But what we can see here, they might start to make a correction. If they make that correction, we'll be going down again. Let's see. I don't expect any running flat in there. That pattern is rare. I've never seen them make an expanding flat in the middle there before they go, right? So we're looking at this as the end of the structure. And this is the start of the downside. Euro CAD. Drop. All those are trade setups, right? And you will keep trading those and you should take profit on every one of them until it breaks this low or not, right? You should be selling here. You should be selling here. You should be selling there, selling there, selling. Take profit. Watch this piece, what it does when it comes here. This still looks like a possibility for a B wave, go back there and then come, right? Can it break the low and then go back up there? I think by now all of you know the answer to that. Absolutely yes. So you're selling this. Can this continue to go down? Then we will have to take this as all the correction, and it doesn't look like that is all the correction, right? Correction, that is too small to be all the correction. But if it keeps going, you're in a sell, so you wouldn't worry about that. You're looking for sell setups until you see sign of a turning. There is no sign it's turning as yet. So every correction you get in here is a sell setup. If you get another correction here, another flag, you're getting another flag there. That becomes another sell. You get another flag, that becomes another sell. Until you see them make an impulse to the upside of correction, then you start buying. Until then, even if it's going to break this low or don't break the low, you keep selling as long as you have sell. As you come lower, the sells become much more dangerous, at least until you clear this area with a correction. So now any short-term sells, you have to be more accurate with them. You have to be very good with them, because this here is a turning point. If they don't turn there, they stop here. You wait for a bigger correction. Now you get back into that sell, and this sell becomes a long-term sell. You can keep that sell for a very long time. Any sell in here is short-term. You take the trade, you move your stop, and then you take profit. Yeah, there is divergence. That doesn't mean anything as yet. The divergence in that part doesn't mean anything. That could change very fast. But if you think of euro going down, maybe a correction and then go down. Euro CAD going down, maybe a move up, but very likely correction and then more downside. Euro New Zealand is not giving you that. Euro New Zealand is saying we're correcting. So this correction here would likely go back here. In that case, we might get this downside very deep, and we'll remember the Euro yen did that. If we see Euro CAD going down and Euro Oz going down, we will get this downside. If Euro CAD and Euro Oz turn to the upside, which they can do, very likely, then you would see this go up and break it down. Remember, this is still in consolidation. You really don't have anything here to trade, and I don't think you should be trading anything here. I don't see them breaking this low. Let me put it here now. I don't see this breaking that low. I actually think we're going to see this go back to the top here. And because they're moving like this, there's a good chance they're going to come back down one more, because this looks very much like a flat. So I wouldn't be surprised if this comes back one more and break these lows after we go up. So look for an upside first, look for a buy setup here, and then look for more downside. I don't think they're going to break out of this structure as yet. Remember, we're looking for them to break out of this structure, but I don't think that's going to happen as yet. Right? I think we're going to go more to come to the top here, somewhere to the top here, and then go back down. So if you're in the, if you get the buy setup, you'll have to take profit. Euro Swiss going down still, right? And if they break through these, if they break through this low and this low, we will go with this as all the correction, right? Right now, this still looks like at some point you can get another one up. It could be a running flat, right? So it definitely is a running flat, but it could be an expanding flat now. So let me put this. That doesn't mean you stop selling. You get any sell setup, you take it, but now you will take a sell setup, who care? Here, you get a sell, you take it. You'll be, if you get another sell setup, you take it, but you have to be very careful now. Because if it is a running flat, let me go back with this pattern. If we're gonna go make a running flat, this one is gonna be like that, like this, and then the downside, right? That's one option. Second option is we come break this, make a expanding flat, go back up, and then downside. Third option is they just continue to go down. Why would they continue? Well, then we'll have to go with this as the B wave, right? It's very small for a B wave. I think I'm still convinced we're going to get more upside. So watch them, especially the Euro CAD and the Euro Swiss for that upside if they're going to make it. Because if they turn and move to the upside, it will be very fast. It's going to be very impulsive, and you'll get it. If not, you just keep selling these flags. All these flags you're getting, you keep selling them. If you get another one here, sell it. You get another one, you sell. That would be a buy side. And it's very likely they can turn from right here without breaking that low, because then you'll have a running flat, right? Do I hear voices? No, I don't hear voices. Is anybody else hearing any other external voices? 2 people. Okay. Some people here, some people not here. I don't know where that could come from because I'm not hearing anything. And I don't think anybody haunted room. Okay, I think maybe the same 2 people having the issues that were hearing noise. I don't know why that is so, but I'm not hearing any noise. And I don't have anything open that could give you noise. Let me close all the apps I have open. I close everything I have open so you guys don't hear anything. I don't think there's any noise anywhere. I just have some charts open now. Right? The microphone should be working, but it's still here. Okay, great. Let's go. Is it good now? Good. Let's go. Euro yen. Let me go back to the 1 hour. What is that line in the 4 hour? Where did that? That is something else. Let me just take that out. I don't know what that is, where it came from. So we're in this structure here, and it's coming down, right? So the question is whether we got still a running flat there for upside or whether we're coming down. This is definitely not all the B wave. So go back to the 1 hour. The downside here, I still think, is very short-lived because they still have to make one more up to give you this one. So let's go with this. Right, you still have, this cannot be all the B wave. It's a little too short. So it's rare you're going to get all of that as B. But what you're going to watch for here is whether you get a flag like this now, a correction cannot sell. Otherwise, that be careful. You could be looking for a move back to the top there and maybe even retesting this top. All right, so we're looking for Euro yen. Definitely, we're looking for more upside. All right, so watch it. Voice disappear. I think it's on your side because everybody else can hear. Right, so you probably want to log off, log on again, or check your computer, your internet access there. Euro pound. We're still in this consolidation, and it looks like they're about to make one more up. Right, we're waiting for the drop to the downside in the higher time frame. See that on this time frame here that we are expecting them to break out of this structure and then turn. They broke out of the structure, but it looks like they're not going to turn us yet, which means look for buy. Look for buys. We're in this one, and that means we might see more upside. It's consolidating here, and if they consolidate, then they'll probably go back up. So you might get one more upside here, like this one more up there. We're getting a bigger consolidation right now, so one more up you're expecting, right? And it probably could happen right here. Right in this part, you might get a flag here and then break out. I don't see them dropping here. It's possible. You might make a more complex pattern in here, but then go make a more long runner. But you're looking for that trade anywhere it breaks out, or if you can get it from a lower point. You're looking for an upside there. Pause. Okay. As we said last week, watch this when it comes to the top of this correction. So let me show you this. I'll take off these lines because I'll show you how I had them last week, and I'll show you why I changed them. The drawing tools. What's all drawing tools? We had this one here last week. Remember? I think it was this here. And watch for 1, 2, 3 for the breakout, and then we had this line as well for coming back to the top there, and then either go down, which means you're coming back to the top. This one was a correction. So you have 1, 2, 3 come back to the top and then either go back down, which means you're in this bigger structure. When you're in a structure, there are 2 things you're looking for, right? You've got a sharp move here. This is pretty sharp. Just a more complex correction, I think, and then we'll probably be expecting this one up here. Finish this pattern before you go. Right? That's likely what we're looking for. And then I said, I relooked at the lower time frame, and there is this possibility. For this to be some kind of an expanding leading diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is a possibility. A B wave correction here. And this one actually could go down pretty sharp, maybe even breaking that low, right? We've had that, I've seen that structure before, and it's very possible it can happen. This one is a sharp wave. I don't, again, a lot of these pairs, they have this very sharp wave in the first one. That could be all the correction, but unlikely is all the correction. So we will still watch this one here as it's going down. Watch it when it breaks here. It's already breaking that low for one more wave up before you go down. So what you're going to do here is this point is you're going to wait for any correction, any flag to sell, or a sharp impulse, a correction to buy. So you got a flag here that would have been a sell. If you took that sell, you did well. You want to take it off and wait for another one. Downside, you sell. Another one, you sell. Once you see this, you start buying. And it could happen anytime, anywhere of this point, right? Because one more up is definitely coming, right? They definitely looks like this correction is not all. They're going to go back up one more. So this would be more like a 1, 2, 3, and upside. Pound New Zealand, definitely downside. This one broke the top, which is what I told you last week. Watch it for them to come and break out of this up a little more, and you got a nice flat for downside. You got a perfect flat there for downside. Now, I don't think this is totally going down as yet, because same thing here. You had a sharp move up. You didn't have any kind of a correct in there. We're in a big pattern here right now, right? This whole big B wave happening, and it is a big B wave. So what I expect to happen here is this coming back a little more here, going back to the top there. We'll probably be in this kind of a sideways move for a while. We have this, we're going to come back here, right? That will complete this piece, go back up there, come here, and then go, right? So it's just going to be a long, drawn-out corrective structure in the middle before you get the upside. This upside will come, but it's not going to come here anymore. It's probably going to come somewhere from here. And this one is probably going to go down there. We would expect more upside after that. This piece here is going to come here, go there, come back there, and then go. So we should probably don't put this so far, put it from here, like that. Something like that. This one is going to come to this level, go back up there. So you're in like 1, 2, and this is 1, 2, 3 here. This has to be a 1, a 2, and a 3. Complete this piece. 1, 2, 3. Complete that piece, and then go back up. So it's more of a long, drawn-out, complicated pattern. Take this one out. That one's not going there. Watch this for a sell setup. Your trade this week would be a sell setup here, right? Or already in the sell. If you're already in the sell, you could have seen this. That was a little up move. You're coming down here. Watch for more sell setup to break this low. And then the upside, right? Like contracting flat. Let me see if that's a possibility. Possible? Yeah, could be. No, it's not a contracting flat as yet, because this is still a correction for downside, right? So if it's going to be any contracting flat, it's going to be like this and then upside, right? Could be. If you're talking about this as a contracting flat, if you're talking about a bigger one as a contracting flat, if you're talking about this one here as a contracting flat, possible. But then after that one, I wouldn't have expected them to make such a big correction here. I would expect this to go. See? So that is why I'm not looking at some traders who are not in my group are seeing things, right? Because I'm sure you're not in my group, right? So it's not just only our group. So watch this. I still think if they come here, you make a bigger correction, right? So I don't think it's going to consolidate a while more than go. But it's tradable, which means in those patterns, you're getting a lot of good trades, right? You can get a lot of good buys, good sells. So watch for this as come down. So more look for sell setups. When they break the low, we look for the turn. Pound CAD. Daily, let's go to the daily. So pound CAD broke out. It broke the low. We were expecting this to come more. Remember, we have this here break the top. We got this. Either we look at all of this as the correction. This one is a 1, 2, 3 there. See that? 1, 2, 3. And that means this one is going to continue to go down. Or we look at this as the correction. 1, 1, 2, 3 here. Go back up and then come down. Which one is correct? We don't know it yet, right? We don't know which one. It's going to go down. In any case, this thing is going down, right? So you have an impulse. You have a correction and you're going to go down. The question is, which part do we look? If we look at this is the B wave here, then this pattern is complete. We can go down, right? That's possible. Second one is if they're making a bigger B wave here, which means this becomes a bigger B wave, we can still go back up there and then come down. Which one it is? It's easy to tell, right? Which one it is. You just watch what's happening in here. Are we going to get a turn to the upside? If we get a turn to the upside, then we will be looking for this to come back up here and then go down. If we don't, you just wait for every flag you get and sell. Wait for a correction, sell. Wait for a correction, sell. Wait. You get these corrections, you sell. You get that correction, you sell. Every correction you get, you sell. And wait to see how far it goes. Right? An expanding flat in this, yes, that is a possibility. But then that would be upside to this level and then more downside. That is also possible, right? So what you're going to look for is what happens here. Very likely you're looking for a correction. But if they make a flag, a correction like that, you're looking for a bigger move up. If they make that, you sell. This will take a while. That will take a couple of days. You're not going to, it's not like you have to make a decision tomorrow, because that will take a couple of days to happen. They're correcting right now and they'll take a couple of days. And if they give you trade for buys, take them. Take all buy setups you get. Every sell setup, wait for a bigger correction. Pang Yen? Pang Yen is at this level now. So at this point, it looks like we're going to break out only, right? There's no other way, no other direction for this. So we're probably expecting this to break out, right? Break this low. And then if they're going to turn, we will watch for a turn somewhere here, right? So when they break here, if they're going to turn, they're going to go back up like that. We'll see whether we get that straight. So you have more sell setups here, and then you're going to look for the buy. 1 hour, look for a flag and sell. Take this out. Wait for a correction or a flag here and look for sell setups. Pound Swiss. Like all pound trades, it's going down. And like all the pound trades, there's a possibility for more upside, right? Like all pound trades, the way this is coming down here, there's a possibility for, won't think it's going to happen, but it's very possible that it could happen. When you're looking for short-term trades, sells. Every opportunity you get for a sell, you sell it, right? So every sell opportunity that comes is a sell. So you got a sell opportunity. Well, here you should be careful. You're probably getting another sell opportunity. When you see these lines, you got to be careful with them. I'll put it in the lower time frame so you can see it. See this here? You're going to put it like this now. Watch what it's doing here. This is a 15-minute, remember, right? So you're getting these. Let me just take this off here and put it like this. And I'll take this off and put it like that. See, when you're getting something like this here, it's actually making an correction, go down, correction, go down. But that means we're about to turn for a bigger correction, right? That means you're about to get one of these bigger corrections. Or you're about to get a big up move. So if you get if this goes like this, drop again, and then gives you a reversal, look for this trade. Don't miss this trade. This will drop. This will probably give you one more drop. That's a short-term trade. And then you would look for the reversal. This looks very much like you're going to get, showing you an all-time frame. See that? You see the same, you see that small pattern I showed you there? The same pattern you're getting here, like, right? So, and if you look at a bigger time frame, you're getting a similar one. If you look at a bigger daily, see, it's going slower. It's kind of slowing down here. It's not going very fast. So at some point, this thing is going to do this, and then go back up. I think we're about to do that upside here. So you want to be careful with sells now. Look for buy setups. If you get a short-term sell setup, you want to be very careful with it. Right? You can take the trade, put it to break even, and see how far it goes. But correction is there very, very, very soon coming. Aussie yen, we went down. So I think if this is all the correction, it looks like that is all the correction. Like I said, there are two options. They could go back up one more, or they consolidate here and go down. I think we got the consolidation. And I think we have the consolidation here. So if they break out of this, look for sell setups. That 4 hour, see, we're probably going to be heading for this low. You definitely want that trade. If they break, you definitely want that trade, which means we're not going to get one more here and then the downside. The possibility existed until they make this flat. This looks very much like a flat for downside. Aussie CAD. Let's see what we have in the 4 hour. 1, 2, 3. I think you're going to get an upside. So if Aussie CAD is showing you upside and Aussie yen is showing you downside, watch the yen and watch the CAD. The Aussie might not be the trade. This could come a little more, but I think you're looking for this trade here. See that? You're looking for that possibility there. So you look at the CAD for upside, probably. And then you remember I said the CAD dollar looks upside. CAD dollar looks upside. So the Aussie CAD trade would probably be the CAD trade moving up. Watch all the CAD pairs for that reason. With the CAD, watch all the CAD pairs, which means New Zealand CAD should show us something similar. Let's go to New Zealand CAD, see what it's showing us. Yep, possible. Whether we looked at this as a contracting flat 1, 2, 3 to this level, it's still possible it could go up. So I think you'll start looking for upside from somewhere here. It might be 1, 2, 3. A bigger running flat in the middle here, because that could be a part of a contracting flat. But even if that's the case, you got 1, 2, 3, you could go back up. So watch for this correction here. I don't see downside much more in this. Watch for a correction very soon to the upside. Be careful of sells. Let's go back. Aussie CAD, Aussie New Zealand, we finish. Aussie Swiss. Probably stay out of this for a while, because this, even if it breaks here, it's going to do this and then probably do that. See that corrective structure there? So stay out of this. Don't trade it. It's going to be dangerous for you. New Zealand, Aussie New Zealand, I think I skipped out. Come to the Aussie New Zealand. New Zealandian, watch for corrections and downside, right? Look for corrections here, and if you get corrections, they're likely, I think they're just repeating these moves. They're likely going to come back here. It's very likely you could get downside here. So look for trades to the downside. New Zealand, Aussie New Zealand. Okay, if you're paying attention, there's a buy setup there. Be careful here now, because it might not be everything, right? Because you still have this 1, 2, 3 here. You got this here and you got that there. Be careful here, because they could come back and then go. There's a good risk that they need to come back and then go. So be careful if you're buying. If you get a flag and you buy, move to break even, right? If you get a flag here for a buy, move to break even, because there's a good chance that even though they break out, it doesn't matter. You could expect this to come back here and then the upside. So watch for that sell setup possible. New Zealand Swiss, also we were expecting an upside on this one. It came lower. We were expecting this one to go, and then it made this, came lower, made this, and they came lower. So this still looks corrective. That whole thing still looks corrective, which means this at some point comes here, has to go back up there. Right? At some point, I still think this is a big correction. Trade here, set up. No. If you get some more downside, you can trade it or you can ignore it. It doesn't matter. I don't think it's a big downside. New Zealand CAD. Very similar structure. We just looked at the New Zealand CAD. Very similar, probably a running flat. So look for this. If you're going to get sell set up here, it will be short term. Swiss yen. They're coming down without tagging the top. So if I will only be a seller when they break this, right? Because that would be a very good trade here if they break that, which means we will not break the top, right? So let's go back to the 1 hour. Don't try to sell while they're above this, especially at this point, because at this point, what you want to look for is that for them to come break that top and then turn, right? But if it is going to go down from here, let them break out, make a correction, and then you start trading it. This will give you confidence for the longer trade to the downside. Okay, come on. Okay. 1 second, guys. Let me get a sip of water. Okay, sorry about that. Remember we had this pattern for you guys. Come here, break that, come down, and then break the top. And I said if it breaks the top, don't worry, they still have to come back a little. Right? All they're doing is making a running flat, and then you're gonna go up, break the top, and then come down. Right? You got that, you got this, you got that, then you can come down. So some more downside, and then look for the buy. If you want to sell it, might be a good idea. If you get a good sell, might be a good idea, but I don't see a good sell there, right? So watch it comes a little more than up. CAD Swiss, stay out of that. It's going up, but it's not going very aggressive. You'll be trapped somewhere and then come down. It's in a correction, so stay out of it. Let's go. You want to look for buy setups here. So as you see, you could either be in the buy from here, put a stop there, or actually wait for them to break out and then buy this one, right? Two ways it's gonna do 1, 2, 3, and then go down, or it's gonna go break the top. So the buy is a good idea. The buy in this one is a really good idea. That is a question from Yasin. I'll answer that later, but we wouldn't talk about a divergence wick. Most likely, I'll check the question, but most likely we wouldn't be telling them that. Yes. Watch this. We got 1, 1, 2, 3. We're going back up here and then downside. This is easy. This one, look for that buy setup. Right? That one is easy for everybody. You got a running flat in the middle. You can see it. I think if you're here for at least 4 or 5 of my classes, you can see this. This is probably going to give you one more up here. It doesn't have to break the top, right? One more up here, and then you're going to start to look for that trade down. Right, this is easy. You can either wait for this to happen, or you can take the trade up and then you sell. Look for sell setups. And same here, right? You broke, but we are not going as yet. So they might make some consolidations here some more and then drop. It's still in the side. See? Come on, what we thought it would do, right? Remember when we told you that watch for this to come down? It's coming down, make a correction there, and then it's going to come down more. Same with this one. You go, come on, it's the charts are lagging. What happened? Yep, this might make a little more correction, but I think it's more downside. I don't see any trade setup for a buy. If you get a buy setup here, it's short term, and you're getting one, but this will be short term. You can take this trade, it might do that, but then you're going to go down back, right? So if you buy this, you got to be careful, even if they attack the top. So there is a buy setup there, but afterwards you're going to go down somewhere. Natural gas. If you got the buy, you're still in it. If you got this buy, you're still in it. Now you got to be careful, move your stops, because they've just completed 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there is a good chance we could see downside from there within the 4 hour. Here is what we're looking at. This one is a simple 1, 2, 3. That was a simple one, right? This is a complex B wave in the middle here. And now they do that. So you're looking at this pattern. Very possible you can get a downside. I wouldn't be buying until I see a correction at the top here. Let's say this is the B wave, and this one is going to go higher. You will have to wait for a correction here like this. Very likely you're going to get one more sell. S&P 500. Everybody is very, very interested in this one suddenly, right? So it drops a little more. Break even. If you took off your sell, which you should have taken off here, you made profit. But if you kept it, you got to break even. And there was a buy setup here coming, right? So you can probably see this. My trader saw that. We saw that earlier. We thought that we said this is going to make a flat. You're going to probably get one more here, but then that downside is going to start. So let me show you. Right? That upside is going to be very short-lived. It's not going to go very far. What we'll probably get is a longer running flat. We still have 1, 2, and we never actually broke the low here. So I'm not looking at that as a contracting flat. And this is the impulse, right? But you can take buys to this level, and then this whole one will become more of a bigger running flat too. So you'll come here. Hopefully we're going to complete that structure, go back up, come down, and then go. We don't have to tag this low anymore. If they break this top, the low doesn't have to be tagged. So this move, and this move could happen here before they go. They don't even have to come back here, right? This move here could happen somewhere. Short-term buys, and then we would look for sells, short-term buys and sells, because you're still in the correction. And the correction might be more something like this. If this goes far enough, there could be something like this, right? Something like that is a bigger one, right? We don't know what the pattern is going to be as yet. We'll just wait and see. So right now, if you're trading, you're out of the cells. You should be out of the cells and look for possible buy patterns. Well, there was a short-term buy in our trading room. We saw that. If you take the trade, you got to put it to break even pretty fast. And if you're taking this as a buy setup, take that out. It was here actually. So you get a buy setup, move your stops, because once they break this top, they can turn. All they need to do is break that top before it turns. Let's go. Nifty. Pull back more up. If you're in the trade, I don't see a buy here. You probably wait for another one. Wait for one more like this. Wait for that before you get into any buy. DJI, you're looking for upside. One more up here, break that top, and then start to look for sell. Let's see how far they can break the top and go. You might break it and go a while, but not very far. Look for a short-term buy and then look for the sell setup. Right, it's very similar structure to the, I think S&P has this one, but S&P, this pattern is a little different. So you can look for this. If we break that top, we're not necessarily going to break this. We could, but we don't necessarily do that. And then you can start to see this move down, right? So watch that there. Is it going to be a longer move to the upside? We don't know. Let's see DAX. I still think this one is going to go up more. This is more of a flat here, right? So if you're in a sell anywhere, be careful. This is going to go back up. So you got this, you got that, and you're going to go back up here somewhere, right? This would become the B wave for this move. 1, 2, 3. So we're expecting this to break that up. Look for a buy setup. Wait for a flag somewhere here and then buy it. Wait for that flag and then buy. Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin dropped a little more than we expected. I don't think it's total downside. It's just dropping a little more, right? Could that be all the correction? I don't think so. I don't think this is making, one of my traders, I think, showed this, whether we're making a running flat in here. Come test the low and then go back. Possible, but not that I'm expecting that to happen. But keep an eye on that possibility of this making a running flat in here. Like you got this, you got this, you got, but then they decide to, you know, it's more of a running flat here. Possible. Come back, we test the low and then go back up. Once they're in this correction, that's possible. So if you're going to look for sell setups at anywhere, let's say you think, I don't think that, I think this could go up from here. But if you're looking for sell setups, wait for this. There was a short-term sell setup here, but I thought they would stop here and go. So wait for something like this to convince you that they're going to do this and then go up, which means we will retest the low once more. You get a sell, but you start looking for your buy setups from here. Once they break the low, you start looking again for your buy setups, right? That is possible. Wait for this to correct though. Don't jump into a sell too early. Same here. This one is definitely giving you one more sell here. Tag this low and then probably up. So you're going to wait for that correction and you're going to get one more sell here. Let's see what else. XRP. You're also likely going to get one more sell here. See, they made a 1, 2. You might get like this, and then you're going to get one more sell before they go up. They have a flat in here, an impulse, right? So they're in this little correction here to make a drop before they fall and go. They have to break this low. So they'll probably come and do that. Break the low and then go back up. So they're all showing you some more downside, little more downside before they go. Weekly structure. Let's see. Okay, let's take the questions from here now because we don't have anything else. So I'll take the questions. Let's start with the first question we had, a divergence one, right? From the guy soon help me with a question about divergence. If I don't have divergence and daily would have divergence and 4 orders, that means a correction and downside. And that means you're just getting a 4-hour correction, but you'll continue the daily direction. From YouTube question. Okay, I answered that question already. So if you have divergence, I'm not supposed to give you guys all that information, but I'll give you. You have divergence in the higher, don't have on the higher, but having the lower, that's most likely a correction and then continuation in that same direction. Can you please look at S&P 500 weekly structure? Okay, I'll take a look at that. We did DAX already. We did that XPT. I'll take a look at that if we have time. And copper, we did already. Copper, you're looking for buy setup. And okay, let's do two more. I'll take the yen and look at S&P weekly, and then I'll take the yen, and then we'll go, right? So we'll do that, and then we'll probably do another one. Let's look at S&P 500 weekly. What is it you're looking for there? S&P 500 weekly. Weekly, we're in a correction. That's what I'm looking for, right? You see this correction here? So we made one leg of it, and I think we're in that B wave leg there. So I'm expecting either they break the top or they don't break the top, but then start to drop. But because there is three waves in there, I'm looking for 1, 2, come back for 3, and then go something like that. So this is the sell you're looking for, but it's not coming immediately. See, they keep crawling up, crawling up. They have a possibility to go up a little more before they fall, right? I hope that it's on the daily, it's the same thing. On the 4 hours, it's the same thing, right? A little more up, but then you're looking for that sharp wave down before you go back up. Let's see. What is your comment on order flow trading, accumulation, distribution, view of the market dynamics? It's okay. I think I know what you're talking about, order flows. If you're talking about currency, it's useless, right? If you're talking about currency, it's useless. If you're talking about stocks, maybe yes, maybe orders and stocks maybe sitting somewhere waiting to be filled and all of that. But in currency, that doesn't work like that. If you understand the currency market, how it moves, right? I know some people sell that as a course. They're talking about what is it called again? I forget. Not order flow, but it really works with that supply and demand kind of things that they're talking about, where the supplies are going to be, where the demands are going to be. In currency, you don't know where it's going to be. It's not based structurally in anything. The chart does not give you that information, right? So the idea is this: is that if it stops here, at some point, if the price comes back there will be orders waiting here to be filled to go up. Now, not so. Right? It doesn't work like that in currencies. I could go and explain to you why it doesn't work, but that's a long explanation. That's actually one of the first classes we do in our thing, right? Explaining to you how currencies act, the reality of how currencies move, so that there is no order waiting anywhere for anybody to come back to them and then go. That's not how banks take order for currency exchange. If any one of you have done that before, you will know. I did that when I was doing business. It's very simple. We will call the bank whenever we need them to pay. We will call them to buy dollars for us when we need to make a dollar transfer to our supplier in Singapore or in wherever we were buying from. Mostly we were buying from Singapore. So I would need to pay my supplier, right? So I would call my bank and said, okay, I need you to convert this amount of dollars and send it. I was not looking at where there is any order flow for that to happen. And that's a random thing that will happen in all markets. Now, it's random in the sense that it's random, but in most time it's based on dates. Like my supplier will need to know when dates you need to collect what sum of money. Sometimes you tell me in advance, you need to pay me in 2 weeks' time this month, and then we will make that decision and pay. Right? It's the same thing that's a very small scale, but it's the same thing happened on the bigger scale. Let's say Gazprom, take any big company. Right? When they have to pay salaries, when they sell, when they get their payment, when they're going to convert that to make local payments. That is how, and it's a daily thing. It happens every day. So there is no spot where order flow is waiting to be filled like that. You know? That happens in consolidation. But that's a whole different class. We'll explain that again. That's not what moves the market. Let me put it that way, if I can explain it. Right? In terms of stocks, whether that happens in stock, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I've never studied stocks that much, or to know whether there is an order flow waiting at any particular point to be filled. I have no idea about it, so I will not make comment on that. But currency, if you're trading currency, that is useless information for you. Let's go. If we're going down to the yen, I want to do, which pattern are you coming for? What platform are you coming for charts? Or Isaac, what is the question? Make it very clear to me. What platform you're coming for charts? You mean which platform I'm using for the charts? This is TradingView platform I'm using, if that is the question I said. Just confirm if that's the question they're asking. Let's structurally, will silver break 1390 to the downside? It could. It could break 1390. I'm not expecting them to do that, but if they do that, I'll be happy because I'll be buying at 1390. I will be buying. He's asking, no, I'm not posting. If he's asking about whether I post on TradingView, no, I'm not posting. You guys, that's an old question. I think that thing is solved like 2 years or almost a year and a half now, right? I'm just using the chart as a package which I bought. I'm not on their social site. I'm banned from their social site. Banned for why? I still get that question. Why were you banned? Like, hey, go read it. You'll know why I banned, because I told those guys I told some of the traders who were there that they're scamming people. And the owners of the site didn't like that. And that's a fact. I actually proved to them. I said, I can prove to you he's a scammer, right? And they said, well, you can prove it, but we don't want you to talk about it on the site. I said, well, somebody's got to talk about it because you have scammers on your site, right? And if you want to ban me for that, my thing to them was the exact conversation was, if you guys want to ban me, it's okay. But if I see a scammer, I'll say I see a scammer here, because there are traders who are suffering because of it. When is your next course? Next course is in September. If you're interested, you add me to Skype right now and send me a message. You have my Skype ID. Everybody should have my Skype ID. If you don't, let me give you very fast. Type, it's MANGAL 457. It's easy. What is the next one? I know a lot of people like the ideas, and those ideas were good because they happen very short term, and I actually pick the best one and post them, which makes you get a very good trade. We're looking for a platform. We'll find one, don't worry. To distinguish between either a third wave or a C wave, that is exactly why you need to Skype me and take the course. We teach you how to distinguish between third waves and C waves. What else? I was wondering, I don't think I'm the one, but I still think there's a lot. I don't think I'm in a few, there's a lot, but there's so many scammers out there, you know, it's just disgusting sometimes. Like I was talking to one guy the other day who fall trapped to them already. He's telling me what he did and what he got, and I don't know why they do it, but people are different, right? Next webinar, can you stay longer and measure pairs? Because we can do that. Well, let's do the major pairs in the special webinar. Is that okay for everybody? Just the majors. And a special webinar this week, I'll do just the majors. I'll do more in-depth on the daily and the weekly for you guys. Is that okay? Would everybody be okay with that? Type of Y if you're okay. Let me see 6 to 1 Ys if you're interested in that. All right? Great. So I'll set the date. Go to my Facebook page. You'll get it. The course is online. Somebody's asking if it's physical. It's an online course. Send me a Skype message. You'll get all the details. It's an online course. So great. We've got some Y is not 6 to 1, but we've got enough to say yes. So I'll post that one. I don't have that chart on. I don't have the Chinese currency on. So what is the price of the course, sir? Isaac, send me an Isaac, you asked the question, seriously. Let them tell them to send me a Skype message. They'll get the answer. Right? So, okay, guys, I think that's all the questions, you guys. Let's see. I remember the course used to start from 6 a.m. usually to the passes. It's still the same. Yeah, the course time is based on the fact that we have traders from all over the world. So we pick a time where everybody is comfortable with. But when you do the practical part of it, you actually choose the time you want. But only for the theory, it's 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. New York. You can always watch that back on the recording if you missed it. Right? A Euro CAD go up for a running flat before it falls without breaking the top. Euro CAD, let me see. Oh, hold on a second. What's that? I had this on. Let me see Euro CAD. Oh, in this part here, not running. Well, if it goes up from here, it's not going to be a running flat. It will be a regular flat if it break. If you're looking at this, it's going to be a regular flat. If you're talking about breaking this stop and then come back, I think that will be later after they make this flat in here. This is what I showed you was the bigger time frame one if you're looking at it. But for now, we look for them to come here. If they're going to break the low first, if you mean break the low and then go, yeah, that is possible. Have a running flat in the New Zealand CAD. I think the New Zealand CAD will make a running flat because they broke the low already. Right? The New Zealand CAD broke the low, so it's likely going to make a running flat. So what all of you guys can do is when the YouTube video is posted, it's already out there. You can take the link and share it. Let more people have the opportunity to see the webinars. It's free. They don't have to pay for that. And they're not, you know, there's no obligation to do anything except watch it and learn something from it. So all of you, if you can share it, thank you for coming. Let me stop the YouTube video because it's too long. Stop it. Okay, thank you for coming, and bye to my YouTube videos. Stop streaming.